Morning, Nuno.
Morning.
We're getting ready for the FA Cup. You're third in the Premier League right now. So, given all you've got to challenge for in that respect, where does this competition rank in terms of your priorities?
It's a priority now. It's the game that we have to focus. It's the most important game that we have.
We saw Liverpool go out to Plymouth yesterday. Does that just show you can't take anything for granted in this competition?
Not only in this competition, in the game, we've been around enough time to know that every game is so difficult. And in competition, when you play away from home, it's always hard. And we expect a tough match tomorrow, Exeter.
You're playing lower league opposition, obviously.
Yeah.
Do you approach it any differently? Is there anything sort of you have to discuss with your players in terms of how you approach such a game?
No, the approach is the same, exactly the same. We try to find all the details. Took a good look at our opponent. They're a good team. But our approach is exactly the same. I think it's a good competition it's a reward for the players that are working so hard to have a chance to play, and this is how we're going to do it.
Given how results have gone so far in the competition, you're actually now the highest ranked team left in it. Does that make you favourites, perhaps? Can you see this as a very realistic opportunity to win some silverware this year?
No, the results yesterday is just what you mentioned. It's a proof that nothing is granted. You have to conquer it, so we have to work very hard tomorrow.
You've got ready for this game with a trip away to Dubai.
Yeah.
What did you get out of that? How was that going away with your squad, and how important has that been sort of now in the run into the remaining games of the season?
It was good. I think the schedule allowed us to have a nice trip because we had time. Same time, I think it was important for us to be together. We had a chance to work in nice facilities, good training sessions. At the same time, we had a chance to enjoy ourselves and have spending some time together, always regarding the bond. But now everything is going to be judged tomorrow. Everything that we do is going to be related to our training camp. So let's make sure that we make it right.
And it's the first time that we've spoken to you since deadline day.
Yeah.
So how do you reflect back on just how this January transfer window went for you and your club?
It was a quiet window for all the clubs, I think. Always very difficult to operate. We were aware of that. We had a clear intention to retain the core of the squad. All the players, they are here, all available. We didn't achieve what we want because it's very hard, and we keep going.
Do you feel satisfied you do have, given you sort of didn't add, maybe you were looking for that extra special something that you could add to your squad if it was available, given you weren't able to do that? Do you feel satisfied you've got what it takes to see you through to the end of the season?
I think we are in a good place as a squad. As long as we keep ourselves healthy and working as good as we are working, I think we can compete until the end of the season.
Is the kind of main concern, you talked about keeping healthy. Obviously, everybody's looking at Chris Wood and what happens if the worst was to happen there. Do you feel you've got the options to cover should the worst happen?
Chris is okay. He came okay, he's healthy. It's okay, we don't have to worry about that.
Okay. James Ward-Prowse left. What was your thinking there? Why did that come about?
It was very hard. Since James came, was a big help for us. I had the chance to speak to him and to understand it was not an easy situation. He came, he played, he helped us. There was a moment that he was not playing. Then his parent club was intention to call him. Everybody understands, I think, was the best decision for all the parts.
And in terms of your current players, how are they looking ahead of this game against Exeter? Any injuries, any new concerns, or anybody returning?
Everybody has to be assessed because it's always details and things that we have to look at. Let's have the training session tomorrow. It's so early. Now we go and we prepare the game, and then we make the list and we decide the squad.
Callum Hudson-Odoi,
Yeah, we have to see. You have to see. He's coming back. Let's see how he is.
And Murillo took a knock, I think, in the
He's
first
better,
game.
much better. He had some time to treatment. He's joined the group normally.
Great. Thank you.
Thank
All
you,
the
Christy.
best.
Thank you.
Kirsty. Colin.
Hi, Nuno.
Hello.
I'll sit down so the eye line's right. Something slightly different. Sam Perkins, who'd been living with motor neuron disease, sadly died over the weekend. Huge connection with this club. Had spent a lot of time here fundraising. I wondered if you just had a few words, a few reflections.
I had a chance to meet Sam. We had a photo. I had just heard the news. Our thoughts are with the family and all this thing. But Sam was such a special person. All the charity that he did. How much money, I don't know exactly how I was able to raise. And he was a big Forest fan. We are sad, but I think it's an example for us to how we should do things in life, help each other.
It's almost tempting to say it shows that sport doesn't matter, but I wonder whether it's the other way around. The connection that he had, it shows the connections that a football club, any sporting club, can make with its fans, and vice versa, the other way around.
Especially us in our city, the way we are all these actions that we have been making and making people closer to the club. Sam is just another example. The people that were here before, another example, a beautiful example.
Thank you.
Thanks, Colin. Colin.
Hi, Nuno.
Hello, Colin.
When the draw was made and now this tie's coming closer, it always felt like a bit of a sort of a traditional classic cup tie, didn't it? I wonder if it's a tie that you've sort of been looking forward to in a way that you're excited by, potentially?
I'm worried. It's always that point. I think it's good. It's good to... the FA Cup allows these teams from different competitions to have a chance to compete. But I'm looking forward in the aspect that I think it's a good moment for us as a squad to take advantage of this game, reward the players that are working so hard and don't have minutes. At the same time, bring everybody that we want to bring to the last games of the competition. So that is important. But I look forward, but I'm always concerned and worried about the game.
Is there a slightly different... I mean, obviously there's a physical test. Is there a slightly different mental test as well for your players? Different surroundings, small ground, the crowd will be right on top of you. They'll be using everything, won't they, for their home advantage?
Of course.
To try and get the better of you.
Of course, and we have to get ready for that. We already had a chat about the game, and I think these games, what is important is to try and find simplicity. Solve the problems in a simple way, because our talent and our quality will show, I hope.
And just a word, if I may, just harking back to deadline day again, the one player that the club did bring in was Tyler Binden, who has then gone back on loan to Reading. So presumably you see him as one for the future?
Yes, we had a chance to speak with Chris. Chris knows him well. I hope he continues his good season and then joins the club.